offer value in all of your relationships and your interactions. But at the end of the day, your job is not to be palatable to others in your personal life. Let go. Be you. Do you. Hey y'all, it's your girl Funmi-Layo. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to like this video because it helps other people to see the video, and make sure to subscribe because we have awesome content on this channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about some things that I've learned at 27. I hadn't filmed this video when it was my birthday last year, so yeah, I'm still 27 now, so y'all just about to get the video now, okay? So the first thing that I would say that I learned was that you gotta get your priorities straight. There's so many distractions and so many different things that happen in life that literally will have you going left, right, and backwards, whatever, but you just really need to know what's the most important, what really matters. So I think it's super important to keep your priorities straight. That's something even to this day, I deal with, and I feel like it's something you're gonna deal with throughout your whole life. But it's just important to remember what's really priority here. Another thing that I would say that I've learned is be kind to yourself. I think I spoke about this in another video, how I used to pride myself in the fact that nobody could say anything to me or negative about me that I hadn't already thought about or ran through my mind about myself, that, I've already thought about, examined every area, but it's no, you don't want to be thinking negative things about yourself. Yes, be self-aware. Yes, know yourself, but you want to be kind. Even if I think about sometimes the way I would speak to myself mentally, I'm not saying that I'm the best at it now, but I'm so much more kinder to myself. I used to pride myself in being my toughest critic. And do I keep it real with myself? Absolutely. I do think it's important to do that, but you don't gotta be mean to yourself. You tell the truth to your loved ones, but you also say it in love. It could be tough love, but it's in love. And it's okay to treat yourself like that, to love on yourself, because the ship sinks from within if you let the water within. You know what I mean? If it's around you, that's fine. But if you are allowing your own boat to sink because you are the one that is inputting in all this negative stuff, and you're the one tearing yourself down, you're the one drowning yourself down in the negativity, that's on you. You know what I mean? And that's a shame. So that's why it's something that I have really been working on. And I feel like I've been doing so much, but I've been so much, better with myself and in my internal dialogue and everything like that. I'm still very introspective, and I still a lot of thoughts run through my mind, but really taking captive more thoughts and really just being more intentional about affirming myself. Be kind to yourself. That's something that, I have learned. And again, everything is a journey. So even though I'm saying I've learned these things, obviously there's still work to do in every area, no matter how old I'll be. And no matter how old you are watching this, these are all things that we'll all be working on continually. Another thing that I've learned is evaluate your limiting beliefs. If there are certain things that's oh, this can't happen for me. Oh, that happened. Oh, that's cool, but that can never yeah, that's not really realistic for somebody like me. Why not? Different things, ideas that you have as to what you are capable of, or what good things can come to your table. Just evaluate, why do you think the way you think? That's something that I have learned. I do have certain limiting beliefs, and to understand where that's rooted from and how to unlearn that belief or reprogram my mind, because there is that confirmation bias where because you believe this, you're constantly looking for things to affirm it. And if that's negative and that's limiting, it's not promoting you to be the best version of you. You're only hurting yourself. So that is something that I have been working on, is taking a look at my limiting beliefs. Again, a work in progress, but that is something I've learned that I do have to think hey, what made me think that? Why don't I believe that I can do that? Why don't I believe that I can get that? Or why don't I believe that I can experience this, or it can be this good for me, or life can look like this for me. Another thing is, don't betray yourself. Don't betray yourself is a big one. It's very important that you look out for yourself and you watch out for you, and you honor how you feel, and you don't do things to appease other people. Maybe certain situations you don't speak up for yourself, right? Or you allow certain things that you shouldn't, different things like that. Whereas later on, you'll realize that, and you'll think you resent the person, but you really resent yourself, you know? It's important not to betray yourself. Even sometimes betraying yourself could be like in staying in certain situations or places for too long, knowing when to remove yourself from certain situations, or, you know, just different dynamics like that. Just to take an inventory of your life and say like, what's serving you and what's not serving you. And this is not like in a selfish aspect, but just like in a realistically speaking, really evaluating things that are toxic for you and things that are actually like beneficial for you, and how to maneuver. And those are like some little ways, because, you know, if you just look through your life, just look at what little ways could I be betraying myself in this, you know what I mean? Just make sure you're taking care of you. Another one is invest in yourself. Make those investments in yourself while you can, you know, just really pour into yourself. You are your greatest asset. So just to really invest in yourself. So that's one. Another one, this is a big one, is to make money. Oh my gosh, this is huge. It's huge. I feel like it's just, money allows you so much freedom. It allows you so much agency over like your life, your decisions, your environment, different things. Make money. You obviously want to do it walking in alignment or within your purpose in a legal fashion, but like it's just super important. Money just, it solves a lot of problems. It solves so many problems, and it can help change your life and your family's life and everything like that. So that's definitely a lesson that I've learned at 27. It's just important to have some income coming in, and it's something, you know, I'm always praying to God for. Because come on now, these bills, okay? So super important. Another lesson is to let go. Don't hold on too tight, you know? This is for like, you know, people who are get emotionally attached to either situations like environments, dynamics, just different things, or people. You just get too emotionally attached and you're holding on too tight. Let it go. You can't control the outcome of different things. You know, you can't control how long somebody stays in your life. You can't control the results of things. Like, I'm applying for this position, and if I don't get it, you can't, like, it's okay. It's okay. Life goes on regardless. Even when you hold too tight onto things, sometimes it will repel them away from you. So just like in everything, like, don't get too attached. Because really, the only constant in life is you, really. You know what I mean? Allow the seasons to change. It's something that I've had to learn, because I don't know, I just get used to things. I just get used to people. But sometimes you gotta grow. You gotta, in terms of like, you might have to move to the new state, and you can't say, oh, I don't want to move because da, 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 da. It could be a relationship, or it could be like any type of thing or whatever, where you just like you're fighting too hard, you're pulling too hard, you're trying to prove yourself, you're trying to hold it on. You got to make sure that you just let go. What's for you is going to come to you or stay with you. You don't have to force things. Just saying, like, let things flow, especially with opportunities. You know, obviously work hard for stuff, but it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to hold on too tight. Nothing is the end all be all. It's fine. With people, you don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to hold on too tight to make sure that everything is like perfect for the other person. Like, no. It's okay. It's okay. Let go. Be you. Do you. You know what I mean? Obviously be mindful of others, and, you know, obviously you want to show as your best self and not be a hindrance for other people or a negative person or anything like that. You do want to obviously offer value in all of your relationships and your interactions, but at the end of the day, your job is not to be palatable to others in your personal life. You know what I mean? So it's like, just relax, calm down, be you. What's for you will be for you. You know, it's fine. You alone, you're by yourself, you're enough. You don't need anything else. You got God. Again, all these lessons we're still learning. Another one is that the rules are fake. Do you? There are some rules that, like, you know, are whatever. But in terms of some of the stuff that you see on these quotes, like these social media, like what healing looks like, oh, if somebody does this, then that means that they're da-da-da-da-da. Or like, oh, you have to do this if you're really da-da-da-da-da. Some of this stuff is just like, no. Well, at least to me, I'm like, what in the world? You're bad this if you do that. You're good this if you do. No, like, some of those stuff, it just be wild. Some of these quotes, these stuff, I'm just like, what? Ain't no way. No, absolutely not. No, get somebody else to do it. or get somebody else to allow that, because that's not even, no, like, what are we talking about here? So we have to be mindful of what people say is the rule. No, certain things also are projections. This is a general rule for this person, like based on what their experiences are. So they make a general rule that, oh, if this person does this, then that means they're that. No, it doesn't mean that. That's just certain people's experiences. So you just have to be very mindful. I guess the lesson learned there is don't allow other people to determine what's best for you. But obviously listen to wise counsel and like sound principles and stuff like that. Everybody is not for everything. So meet people where they're at, right? So like if you have certain relationships or friendships or whatever, and it's just like, you know that a certain person is like this, there might be certain interests that you have that other people might not have. It's okay to still be their friend if they don't have all the same interests as you. You can meet them where they're at by, partaking in the same interests that you guys have together, and interests that you guys have that varies. You don't have to resent the person or like impose that on the other person if you know that's not really them. You know what I mean? A lot of issues in relationships, and by relationships I'm talking like friendships, like platonic or romantic, is like you're expecting something out of somebody when it's not even how they are. They're not even built like that. That's not even what, they're not like that. They're not into. Like for instance, you like painting, but your friend does not like painting. They like, this is a random example, but they like going on hikes, and you keep on asking them to come paint with you, and you're mad at them because they won't come and paint with you, but that's not their thing. They like going on hikes, you know what I mean? And you occasionally like rollerblading, and so do they like rollerblading. So just do that together, you know what I mean? Maybe one day they might want to go painting with you, and that's fine. And then you can go painting with them at that time. But that setting that expectation for them to like, go painting with you when that's not even who they are, that's not what they like, it just causes problems. So it's better to just meet people where they're at. Like you know the people in your life, and you know what they like to do and what they don't like to do, or how they are or who they are. Maybe certain people don't really like to talk about, let's say certain people don't really like to talk about sports or whatever, but you can really have a deep convo with them. Stop expecting them to talk about sports. Talk about that with a different friend. You know what I mean? Or, or if that's your man, talk about that with, somebody else, So it's like, set your expectations. Well, people say don't expect anything out of anybody. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't fully understand that. I that's not really one for me. But my thing is like, accept people for who they are and move accordingly, right? So it's like, there's certain people that you could talk heavy to about, about spiritual stuff, but like, maybe your relationship with God and like, your church, but there might be certain people though that you can't have that conversation with. You know what I mean? It's not going to flow like that. But that don't mean that you got to cut that person off or you got to get mad at them because you can't have that type of conversation with them. No, you can do other stuff with them. You know what I mean? So it's fine. Like that could be the person that, you really have, fun, shopping with, or going to the mall with, or different things, or like you might like going on runs with, or the exercising, that's your workout partner, or that's somebody you go out to eat with, or you go out to party with, like, you know what I mean? Like, just accept people for who they are and move accordingly, and that's fine. And just accept that not everybody is for everything. We ourselves, we got to realize we are not for everything. There are certain things that people could call us and ask us to do that we're like, no, we're not coming. But obviously, there's sometimes, and it was some friendships or whatever, or like relationships where it's like, okay, yeah, like your friend or somebody, they really need somebody to go to this with. It's not really your thing, but it would make them happy. So it's like, okay, I'll come with you. There are certain caveats like that, but it's like, it's nothing that anybody should be like, but we can't be, it would be so much easier if we didn't expect people to do those type of things, if if we just accept that that's just not who they are. But it's a pleasant surprise. Oh, you're willing to do that for me, because I know it's not even really your thing, but thank you you cared enough about me to do this. But like at the same time, if you didn't do it, it shouldn't be anything, because that's not you, So I do think like it helps you personally with your expectations. If you do be expected, have expectation out of people, just to let it match up with who they are, let them be who they are, and just move accordingly. It'll save you a lot of heartache and a lot of, emotions. Another thing is that everything is not for everybody. Just like everybody is not for everything is not for everybody. So like there's certain things that other people can do that may not be good for you to do. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that other people that are good for other people, but it just doesn't work for you, and that's okay. Those rules might be good for others, but like that don't necessarily work for you. Just be mindful of what actually works for you, because again, everything is not for everybody. Another one is don't feel like you have to remain the same in every way, that you can't evolve. Don't feel like you can't be a dynamic person. Just because you read doesn't mean you can't also go bungee jumping or be like an adventurous person. Like don't feel like you have to stick to one particular image of yourself or box. There's like a TikTok that I saw, and they explained it so well. I'll link it down below if I can remember it or if I can find it again. But like, even when you hang around certain people, a lot of times, like, based on how that person sees you, you kind of feed into more of that side of yourself. But don't feel like that's the only side of yourself that you can amplify. You know what I mean? You are allowed to be a multidimensional person, because nobody is just one-sided. Everybody has different sides to them, and it's okay to be that person that loves to have fun, but then also be the person who like also sometimes just is like super chill, or you're somebody who like you like to go out a lot, but you're also somebody who's like very much about your business. You're not messing around when it comes to like business stuff, or like just different parts like about yourself. Don't feel like you have to be caged in, that you can't be your multi-dimensional self. You are allowed to be multifaceted. You are allowed to have different parts of you. Don't feel like you just have to be this one thing. It's okay. That's not life. Another one is don't shrink yourself. You don't have to play small. Don't have to be anything other than you. And if you ever feel like you have to, ask yourself why, and then be cautious of that environment you're in or whoever you're around, or be introspective of, is there an insecurity within you that you feel like you have to, you're not being your full self. But it's okay to shine bright. It's okay to just be who you are, even if may not be the most agreeable, or may not fall in line with something that maybe everybody around you or whoever you're around might like. It's okay. Naturally, people will gravitate towards you, and you're going to repel people who are not for you. Being a certain way is going to cause certain people to come to you that are not really for you, and then you're going to end up trying to figure out how to have difficult conversations later on. Well, the whole time, if you didn't shrink yourself and you just shine your light, they wouldn't have even come around, So just being mindful of like ways that you might be playing small in your life, even in other stuff. What are some ways or some situations where you don't feel confident just in general being yourself? And then that's also like a moment to be introspective in what's wrong with you, or what areas of improvement are there for you that makes you feel a certain way in certain scenarios where you're not, that one happens in so many different environments. That could be work, that could be in like your confidence, starting up a business venture, or how you show up on social media platforms, or how you show up in relationships or friendships, or just environment when meeting new people. It's just something to think about, of like, why do I do that? Or why do I feel this way? Just really to examine yourself and any insecurities or any thought processes or limiting beliefs or anything like that needs to change in order for you to really show up fully. Another one is pay attention to how you're feeling. Like if something bothers you, if you feel uncomfortable in any way, or like something is like rubbing you the wrong way, really pay attention to how you're feeling. And it doesn't matter if nobody, or like if something's going on that's not okay, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if nobody else like understands or anything like that. Feel the agency to make the necessary adjustments that you need to make, regardless of what anybody else might think. It's definitely important to pay attention to how you feel. There are certain situations where, you might be bugging, like you might be, but then there are certain situations where, when people look back, it might be like, nah, that wasn't cool, or yeah, you're right. I do see why you felt that way, da-da-da. So yeah, those are things to keep in mind. And I think that kind of ties into the whole don't betray yourself part as well. But thank you so much for checking out this video. Comment down below some lessons that you have learned so far, and it might help us, But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like this video, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.